All right, let's jump right in. We usually think of evolution as this dusty, historical thing, right? A slow, blind process that happened ages ago. But what if I told you that right now we're living through the single biggest shakeup in how evolution works ever? We're talking about the moment evolution gets a brain. And for billions of years, that's exactly what it was. Evolution was basically playing darts in the dark. It would just throw countless random mutations out into the world, hoping one would stick. Most didn't, of course, but a few did, and that's natural selection. It works, for sure, but my God, is it inefficient. But imagine that whole process, that slow, blind, fumbling in the dark process suddenly opened its eyes. What if it could actually aim? That one simple question changes absolutely everything. And it's the core of what we're going to unpack today.
So yeah, we're at this incredible moment where evolution is getting a new steering wheel. But to really get where we're headed, we've got to look at the old map first, the story about biology that we all learned in school. And that old story, you know it well. It all centers on DNA, that famous double helix. We were taught that it's the fixed blueprint for life, a script that's handed down to you, and that's that. And look, it's a really relatable idea, isn't it? DNA is basically fate. You get your code, it runs the program that determines your eye color, your height. It felt like the story was already written at birth. End of story. But it turns out that was just the first chapter. This is where a whole new character enters the stage. So if your DNA is like a giant library, just packed with instruction manuals, for the longest time we thought the library was the story. But what we've discovered is there's also a director, a system called epigenetics. And this director runs around deciding which books get opened, which pages get read, and how loudly. It's not rewriting the books, but it is completely changing the story that gets told. And this director, well, its role isn't just a big deal for one cell. It fundamentally upgrades the entire process of evolution itself. This is how evolution found a turbo button. You see, instead of waiting generations for a random DNA mutation to hopefully show up and spread, epigenetics lets an organism adapt on the fly, within its own lifetime. It's like evolution found a secret shortcut, you know? It's a biological cheat code that skips the long, slow grind of random chance. Okay, so stick with me, because this is the pivot. Biology already had this incredible, super fast layer of control, and now artificial intelligence is plugging directly into it. This is the exact moment where the biological revolution and the technological revolution smash into each other. Now, we have to be super clear about what this means. When you hear AI and genes, your mind probably jumps to some sci-fi movie where robots are crudely rewriting our DNA. That's not it. The reality is way more elegant and honestly way more powerful.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. The whole gene editing idea is kind of like trying to make music by smashing piano keys with a hammer. You're not going to get a symphony that way. The real magic isn't in breaking the piano, it's in learning how to play it beautifully. And that right there is the big aha moment. The real power isn't in changing the permanent DNA sequence, it's in influencing that dynamic, flexible layer of epigenetic regulation. AI isn't writing the music, it's learning to conduct the entire orchestra. So how's it doing that? It's learning what scientists are now calling an epigenetic grammar. The AI isn't just memorizing a giant list of facts. It's actually learning the deep rules, the language, of how our genes talk to each other. It's the difference between memorizing a few phrases in French and actually becoming fluent. It's a whole other level of understanding. So what? What does any of this mean for us, really? Well, this isn't some abstract theory. This understanding is about to completely change everything we thought we knew about medicine. This is a total mindset shift. Take a disease like cancer. For decades, our approach has been to treat it like a broken part that needs to be poisoned or cut out. But with this new lens, what if a cancer cell is just a healthy cell that got lost? A cell that's forgotten its identity and is just running the wrong software? And if that's true, then the goal of medicine flips on its head. It's no longer about waging war on our bodies. It's about restoration. It's about gently reminding that lost cell what it's supposed to be. And AI is becoming the map that can show that cell the way home. The practical side of this is just mind-blowing. It means we could shift from reacting to diseases after they show up to maybe preventing them entirely. We could spot when a cell is starting to drift off course and guide it back long before it becomes a real problem. We're talking about fixing the code before the program even crashes.
Okay, let's zoom all the way out now, because as huge as this is for medicine, it's actually even bigger than that. This is about a whole new chapter for life itself.
You can really see evolution in three distinct phases. Phase 1 was classic Darwin, slow, random, blind selection. Phase 2 was the discovery of that epigenetic fast lane. And now we are stepping into Phase 3, evolution with an intelligent hand on the steering wheel. And this is maybe the most profound shift in 4 billion years. Until this very moment in history, evolution was something that happened to species. They were just passive subjects. That era is ending. We are moving from the passenger seat into the driver's seat of our own biology.
And when that happens, when a species can consciously understand and start to guide its own biological future, you gotta ask, is it really just biology anymore? It becomes history. The same intelligent, directed force that builds civilizations and writes symphonies is now merging with the ancient biological force that built our very cells. The two are becoming one.
And that leaves us right here, at this unbelievable turning point. The conversation is no longer about can we. The possibilities are quickly becoming near infinite. The real conversation, the one we all need to have, is about responsibility. Now that we have our hands on the steering wheel, where do we choose to go? What futures are we actively selecting for?